Cam Chancellor was a fifth-round draft pick out of Vodtech and almost immediately became one of the most important pieces of the Seahawks. Self-made Pro Bowler, 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, and was a heart and soul guy of that team and a Legion of Boom. You might say that they're cut by the Seahawks. Well, they'll land somewhere else, right? No, they're retiring. They're retiring because Cam Chancellor has this neck injury and Doug Baldwin can't stay healthy. And you want to know how old they are? Cam Chancellor's 31, Doug Baldwin's 30. This bummed me out seeing this because it is so obviously the end of something in Seattle. They might end up being competitive again. They might end up winning a Super Bowl with Russell Wilson. But the team that won the Super Bowl in 2013 and went to another one in 2014, that's gone. Pete Carroll's there. Russell Wilson's there. Nobody else is there. That's over. And I always respected that team, even though they had swagger, even though they were brash, even though Richard Sherman yelled at Aaron Andrews. I respected that team because it was a bunch of guys whose main tenet was we were overlooked, and now we're here to shove it back in everybody's faces. And I always think about the Seahawks because it's so brief. Your window is so brief. You've got to take advantage of it. It's so brief. I mean, gosh, that was 2013. It's 2019. That's 6 years later. Nobody's left. Nobody. And guys that are 30 have to retire, which makes the Patriots' longevity all that more unbelievable, and you have to appreciate, but all that more aggravating that they have had a 20-year run where most teams get 3 years, 2 years. I was just watching, and this is because I'm a sicko, NFL films for 1979. And I was watching the story of the 79 season, and this was the Pittsburgh Steelers' final championship. And it was obviously this kind of coronation of the Steelers as the team of the decade, winners of 4 championships, and they were spoken about like, well, you can't beat them. Everybody in the NFL is chasing them, and you can't, and nobody's been able to figure it out. Well, guess what? That was it. That was the end of the door. That was the end of the line. That was the door closing. They had 4 championships, 6 years, and that's it. Now, the Steelers are one of the greatest dynasties ever. Ever. And they had a window of about 8 seasons because 72 is the Immaculate Reception and 79 is their final championship. They had about 8 years, which is why I begrudge the Patriots historically. Because in my mind, and this is probably totally dysfunctional, I don't think anybody deserves a 20-year window. I don't. I think you get your window, you take advantage of your window. No matter how great you are, it's 8 to 10 years at its very widest, and then that's it. And you've got to live with the consequences if you didn't take advantage of that. And the Patriots have had 20 years. And yes, I am bitter about that, and that aggravates me because I just think that is, in essence, unfair because who gets that? Who gets that lot in life? Now, you have to appreciate that, but you also can say how aggravating that is. But for the Seahawks, the window was like 3 years. And one ill-fated handoff to Marshawn Lynch snatches away history because back-to-back's way different than a one-off champion. And when you watch Cam Chancellor and Doug Baldwin retire yesterday, essentially they were cut by the Seahawks, and they will essentially retire at this point in time. That's it. That's that era. And it's so fast, and it's so finite, and it's so short. And those were heart and soul guys, and I appreciated both of their careers. So it was a little melancholy to see that come over the wire yesterday.